Welcome back to Theresa.is.Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful garbage mouth, and if you're not into that or weird shit in general, this is not the place for you. Feel free to exit out the video here. No harm, no foul, but I'll remember our time fondly. If you want to jump straight to the overall review of the products, I'll leave a time code down below. Feel free to jump ahead. Guys, I want to share with you a special coworker of mine. Someone that I actually haven't talked about, and she's going to be making her debut today. And we're going to call her Personal Space Patty. And, well, you'll see why in a second. I work with somebody who doesn't understand what personal space is. She will time and time again come into my cubicle and literally lay her vagina on me. And unfortunately, my cubicle is near a wall, so I have nowhere to go except in. And bitch, I ain't trying to go back into the womb. Patty is the type of person who will send an email and then immediately come to your desk and want to discuss the email. She's kind of like the female version of Bob, except she doesn't have a camel toe. So the other day she runs into my cubicle, almost scares the shit out of me, and says,
"Did you see the email I just sent you?"
Excuse me?
The email.
What? I didn't even get it yet.
Oh.
At this very moment, my phone starts ringing and I see that it's my mom. I'm about to pick it up and I look back at Patty and I say, "Hey, I'm actually going to take this as personal. You mind?"
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem.
Instead, she just sits on my fucking desk while I'm about to pick up the phone. So if you're new here, actually, I'm the weirdo in everybody's office that has all the desk toys. That's me. Hi, how are you? I literally have toys everywhere that usually when people come by, they either get incredibly overwhelmed and terrified and they run away, or they get really into it and they ask a million and one questions, right? So I'm that weirdo. Patty, who was sitting on my desk, now turns, starts playing with the toys on my desk. No. You can try to shove me into your vagina, but don't fucking lay a finger on one of my desk babies. So I immediately picked up the phone. I said, "Hi, I'll call you back." Fucking hung up and I spun around in my chair and I said, "Okay, so what do you want to discuss?" As I'm watching her about to molest one of my desk babies, she turns to me really quickly and goes,
"Oh, you didn't have to take that?"
I said, "No, I'll call them back. What do you want to discuss?" And so now she literally starts to fucking climb on top of me to start pointing at my monitor to show me where I need to read. At this point, her fucking vagina and her breath was way too much, so I scooted back and watched her fall into my monitor because serves the bitch right. Why the fuck are you jumping on top of me? There have been instances where I politely moved back, but she takes that as a cue to I'm gonna act as if you're fucking Santa Claus and ask for a goddamn present. I then proceeded to open the email and noticed that the email was actually addressed to a woman named Sarah. The email kind of goes on and on about work bullshit, TPS reports, whatever. I'm looking at it and I kind of start scratching my head and I look back up at Patty and I'm like, I guess I'm confused. What do you want to talk about with this email? She goes,
"Well, that's my point. This was sent accidentally to me. So what do I do?"
So what I wanted to say to her was, give me your fucking paycheck. However, I did the right thing and basically talked to her like she was a fucking idiot. You know, kindergarten rules where you're like,
"See here, Tommy, when you take this box and you open it this way, things could fall out. So you're gonna have to keep it upright there, buddy."
That's literally what I did to her, except I told her pretty much how to respond to the email, which was to tell the sender, "Hi, I think you accidentally sent this to the wrong person. Have a great day." So these are the people that I work with. Yep. Anyway, that was my day. How was yours? On today's video, we're going to be reviewing the new Disney Colourpop collection, which are these two little guys right here. Being that I actually have two pieces from this collection, I think what I'm going to do is talk about this first, then followed by the palette. But I do want to say, though, I think Colourpop actually owes me a royalty check for this idea. Right? Colourpop, if you're listening, please make a Disney Villains palette. I think the world needs it. It definitely needs it. I need some fucking Maleficent or some Ursula shit. Anyway. You're welcome, Colourpop. So with that said, let's talk about this collection first. The Hades collection retails for $25. The Fates predicted that you need the Hades collection set. Includes shade inspired by the hot-tempered lord of the underworld in luxe lipstick, ultra glossy lip, and super shock highlighter. So the reason why I chose the Hades set is because out of all 6 collections, this was the one that I felt like I would get the most use out of. So I actually purchased this in Ulta, and I feel like with Ulta it kind of missed the mark only because you only could buy either the palette or the set. You couldn't buy anything individually. Had I gone through the Colourpop website, of course I could have ordered things separately, but in reality I just wanted this stuff now because Colourpop shipping sucks dick for days. And what can I say? I'm an impatient New Yorker. However, you really do get this adorable packaging, which to me is almost everything. As someone who is a collector and also as a Disney lover, this is everything. This packaging is so fucking cute. And I really, really love that it actually kind of reminds me of like an old school Disney VHS tape, like one of these guys. That's what this packaging reminds me of, and I fucking love it so much. So with that said, for $25, what exactly do you get? You get these 3 products here. You get a Super Shock highlighter, a Luxe lipstick, and a gloss. So let's talk about the gloss. All right, I'll be very honest. This is actually not my favorite gloss from Colourpop. If you want any sort of gloss, just get the plumping gloss, the So Juicy one. That one's worth every fucking penny. It's fantastic. Yeah, they're a little bit on the sticky side, as most glosses are, but I kind of do like that it gives you that plumping effect. And for me that has very, very small chicken lips and I'm too terrified to get fucking filler on my lips, it is as good as I'm gonna get. So I really, really do like it. So when I noticed that we were gonna be getting this product, you know, I was not that excited about it. I think it's fine for what it is, but I find that this one kind of, it wears off very quickly. Initially, it's very sticky, very juicy, but not in a good way. You feel like it's kind of getting all over the place and it's kind of messy. After you're talking for about an hour or so, it kind of like mattes down, where it just looks like there's like maybe a mere shine on my lips. It's not as shiny as it once was when I was applying it. I will say though that this is like literally a fucking dead ringer almost for the Wet n Wild packaging though. So the packaging for me feels incredibly cheap. And then I remembered, oh yeah, you got a gloss from the Disney Princess collection, and that's what this one looks like. Look how nice this one is compared to this one. I feel like it just kind of missed the mark. I almost wish that they mirrored the packaging except taking this gold lid and making it more of like a black chrome. That would have been really adorable. This one feels a little bit more weighted than this one. This one just feels like just cheap plastic. I don't know, that's a little bit of a bummer for me. The gloss isn't terrible, but it's not the best thing in the world. It's mediocre. So if you want mediocre glosses, you'll have a fucking field day with this. So the other thing in the collection is the Colourpop Luxe lipstick, which, you know, it's not terrible. It's not great. It's okay. I feel like there are only 2 adorable things about this lipstick. One, the packaging is so fucking cute, adorable, and I really like that the word villains is embossed in the lipstick. That's it. Other than that, the quality is okay. Much like the gloss, it kind of goes away after a little bit. The more you start talking, the more that it starts to wear down, especially like in the inner butthole region. So you find yourself kind of reapplying, and then it kind of gets a little cakey and a little weird and starts to kind of get like a little bit more drying. Like I said, not my favorite formula. I was kind of hoping that this was going to be a little bit better because the swatch felt a little bit more hydrating, but at the end of the day, it's still the same Luxe lipstick, and I just kind of got carried away because I was staring at this packaging. Not a fan of that, but again, if you like this formula, then you know what to expect. And last but certainly not least, here is the Super Shock Highlighter Compact. By the way, this is fucking adorable. I love the packaging on this guy. That you have a nice little mirror here, and then of course you have the product. This is not the one that I really wanted to go with, technically. I really like the one that was in the Maleficent bundle, and had you been able to purchase things individually, I think I probably would have just picked up 2 highlighters and I would have not gotten the lipstick or the gloss. When I first initially swatched this on, I felt that it was a little too dark, but I think overall it looks pretty good. I feel like this is a highlighter that I can wear more in the summertime or when it's a little bit warm out because it has that like golden tone to it. It's not terrible. I will say though, if you're not a fan of the Super Shock quality, then I would say skip out on this. I feel like sometimes the Super Shock shadows look good and then sometimes it really doesn't. I'm gonna actually insert a swatch here that kind of shows you all the different ones that come in the collection. The worst offender out of all of them was the Cruella de Vil one. That one literally like nothing came out of my hands. The quality is not the most amazing thing. I think I like the quality better in the Good Sport highlighter palette version, but these are okay though. You know, I really think that I'm honestly just paying for the fucking packaging at this point. And as a Disney collector and a fucking asshole, I don't mind it that much. But I will tell you guys though, if you are thinking about getting this and you're kind of like teetering tottering and you don't really know if you like everything, really think about this because truthfully, I don't think it was worth the $25 price tag. I think if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't have picked this up. Well, this is adorable and I really, really do like the packaging on it. I think overall the products aren't things that I'm really shitting my pants about. The other thing I want to mention is the coloring on these guys. I feel like, you know, some of the villains kind of make sense. Maybe some of the lipstick shades or whatever, maybe the highlighter shade a little bit for Ursula. But overall though, I feel like the coloring of each villain doesn't really correspond to the colors that are in each package. Hades is actually a perfect example. I feel like none of the colors in here match what he looks like. This is a picture of Hades. However, I do understand that you want to make wearable colors because not everybody is going to be rocking a blue, a purple, a green. I get that. That's fine. We're all not crazy. But I don't know. I felt like I should have been a little bit more truer to the actual villain. Am I alone on this? I don't know. I definitely think spending $25 for this is way too much money. If you can get this on sale, I say fucking go for it. But if you only really want one product out of this, just go to the Colourpop website. Don't even bother with Ulta because you're only going to be able to just buy the packages and that's it. Now let's talk about the Misunderstood palette. Misunderstood Pressed Powder Shadow Palette retails for $22. Rooting for the good guys is boring. In collaboration with Disney and their infamous villains, we're bringing you the palette to rule them all. Misunderstood. The mix finish 15-pan eyeshadow palette combines intense mattes, color-shifting duochromes, and rich metallics. Scheme all the ways you'll slay your look. It won't be that hard with this palette. First and foremost, the packaging, when I was looking at it from this far away, I was like, this is fucking cool. However, when I really look at it up close, it's slightly pixelated. I mean, I don't know if they were kind of going for that old VHS quality. I mean, if they are, then they fucking nailed it. But I think comparing it to like the Disney Princesses palette, which I think people were on the fence about, I personally liked it. I thought it was pretty cute. I don't know. It's weird. Also, this font kind of reminds me of NYX a little bit. It's weird. I feel like they could have had like a better production quality on the actual palette. Disney put their name on this? Interesting. With that said, when you open this guy up, you get 15 shades right here. And of course, it's a beautiful holographic packaging, which I'm pretty sure I'm blinding the shit out of you and I apologize for. I'm happy to report that this palette is not all shimmers because initially that's what I thought it looked like in the Ulta advertisement. I was like, fuck, it's gonna be all shimmers. And then it makes me think of that one awful fucking Colourpop palette, this one right here. And I was like, no, I don't want it. It looks like there's about 5 mattes and then there's one matte in the corner that just has some sparkles on top of it because, you know, everybody really loves that shit. In any case, I have to say that the swatches were really pretty. They were beautiful. I didn't use all the colors, obviously, because I only created 2 looks for you. Of course, this is a first impression video, being that this palette literally just came out. So out of the 15 shades, you know, I tried to do my fair amount using some of these shades, but honestly, I really stuck with the ones that kind of really spoke to me, which of course your bitch is going to be picking greens and blues because, you know, I'm kind of over gold and all kinds of shit or whatever. I have to say that these 3 colors right here look fucking fantastic, and I can't wait to kind of use this palette again because I really want to create something with this shadow. Oh my god, look how pretty that shit is. I have to say that I really do like Colourpop's formula. You know, sometimes it can be real hit or miss, but for this palette, I feel like they're actually really fucking good. I personally really like Colourpop's formula, so I was very excited to pick this up. No, it's not the most amazing formula you'll ever try, but I really feel that it's completely solid, and for the price point, it totally makes sense. The shadows that I did use, or the shadows that I can speak about, I should say, I did experience a little bit of kick up, some fallout, especially with the matte black shade here. There was like a decent amount of fallout for one of my looks, and it wasn't something that I can easily brush away. As for the shimmers, there was a little bit of crumbliness to them. There was a little bit of kick up. There was a little bit of fallout, but nothing too crazy. And with the fallout, you were able to kind of brush away so it didn't look like Tinkerbell shit on your face. So that's always a good thing. And I think if you had the Disney Princess palette, I think they actually complement each other very well. Since the Disney Princess palette is more on the boring neutral side, you kind of have at least these little bit pops of color to kind of offset the boringness of this. There are 2 beautiful green colors in this palette that are fucking stunning. I love this Jet Sam color, pretty purple green color. I don't know, it's like a nice little duochrome moment. See how pretty that is? Fuck, bitch. I love it. There are some really nice duochromes in this guy. I gotta say, for the price point, it's really nice. So listen, if you're kind of still on the fence about it and you have an Ulta where you live, check it out and swatch it and see if you like the formula. But if you are a fan of Colourpop's normal formula, then there are no surprises here. So I had no issue with building up or blending out or layering colors on top of other colors. I literally had no issues with this palette. This is a very pretty palette. So do I think this is a standalone palette? No. While I do think that you can create a lot of work appropriate looks with this palette, at the same time, you are going to get tired of using like the same 2 transition colors over and over again. So you're going to always be looking at other palettes to kind of fill your needs, i.e. this palette. This is definitely a companion palette at the end of the day. I think out of the whole collection, like I mentioned before, just get the eyeshadow palette. You don't really need technically the collection bundles unless you really like the formula and you know what to expect. If you're like, I'm on the fence about it because I don't really like 2 of the products, but I really like the packaging, it's not worth it. Unless you have some really good coupon that makes this way less than $25. Or the alternative is, if you only liked 1 out of the 3 products, just go on the Colourpop website and purchase one of the products individually. I think overall, I'm a little bit underwhelmed with the whole collection. While I do appreciate that they were going for more colors with the Villains palette, they could have went a little bit further with it. But overall though, as a Disney fan and a Colourpop fan, you know, I think it satisfies my needs, but I really wish they would have went that extra mile to make it that much better. So now I want to hear from you guys. Please let me know if you're interested in getting this collection, if you're already purchased it, if you don't give a shit about Disney. I don't know. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Actually, if you can let me know who your favorite Disney villain is, that would be great. Who is my favorite Disney villain? Probably Ursula, because I look like her. All right. On that note, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's free. And hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, out in the streets, out in life, in the subways, whatever. And I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.